Now I call the Chairperson of the Committee on Gender to read a statement on the same matter.
On the same, you can.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make this statement. Today, July 30, is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. This day, popularly referred to as the Blue Day, is being commemorated around the world. As a Parliament, it is important for us to identify and commemorate this day whilst assessing progress made in the fight against human trafficking and what we can collectively do to enhance national efforts at eradicating it in our beautiful country. Mr. Speaker, our country is blessed with a deep, rich culture. We can look through history and see a graceful strength that inspires all who visit. Our people are talented and innovative and are constantly working for a better tomorrow. We have a lot to be proud of and thankful for. We have a thriving democracy and socio-economic credentials which has made us the spectacle of many across the world. But there is a shadow that has casted itself over our cherished country. That is the shadow of human trafficking. This shadow is not solely over our country, but it has casted its shadow over a majority of the world. In summary, the Human Trafficking Act 2005 at 694 defines trafficking as a transfer of persons within countries or across national borders for monetary gain or by deception or through the abuse of power. Mr. Speaker, we must admit that this issue plagues our nation across and within our borders. Ghanaians are trafficking Ghanaians. We see at our airports a weekly quota of young people being trafficked under the guise of pursuing greener pastures in countries like Lebanon and the Gulf states. Cross-border trafficking is a very real crisis of immediate attention. Mr. Speaker, in ending these atrocities, we would have to work together in order to see change. Organizations like the International Justice Mission exemplify this well by supporting government to end this problem. Institutions such as the Human Trafficking Secretariat, the Department of Social Welfare, Attorney General's Department, Ghana Immigration Service, and other stakeholders are working assiduously with their limited resources to end this injustice that is robbing the future and dignity of our children, brothers and sisters. Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, hundreds of children are being exploited on the beautiful Volta Lake. In order to completely end this menace, we need to intensify collaboration to enhance awareness creation, rescue victims, arrest and prosecute perpetrators, rehabilitate survivors, and make it unappealing to traffic people. This is why the current partnership between the International Justice Mission, members of the Coalition of NGOs Against Child Trafficking, are worth acknowledging. Collaboration is not only necessary, but required to end trafficking, especially in the midst of COVID-19. At this point, it is important to commend the work of the Anti-Trafficking Unit of the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Immigration Service, Economic and Organized Crime Office, and Human Trafficking Secretariat for their efforts and collaboration with NGOs in addressing the problem. Over the past couple of years, hundreds of victims of trafficking have been rescued within and across our borders, with several perpetrators being prosecuted. That notwithstanding, there are some areas in need of immediate attention. Despite a robust policy framework, Human Trafficking Act of 2005 at 694 and and amended by the Human Trafficking Amendment Act 2009, LI 2219, Human Trafficking Prohibition Regulations 2015. The practicalities on the ground show a steep practical deficit when it comes to the prevention and protection of victims of trafficking. Some key focal areas that we need to prioritize as a country to scale up our efforts at ending this problem are as follows. 1. The Department of Social Welfare is heavily understaffed and underfunded to provide the kind of support needed for victims of human trafficking. Some Department of Social Welfare offices lack basic provisions such as computers, vehicles, printers, etc. 2. There currently exists only one female adult shelter in the entire country, thereby creating a massive vacuum when it comes to survivors of trafficking. 3. There is only one short-term government-owned child shelter in the entire country with a limited capacity that is not suitable for the growing number of cases. The Human Trafficking Fund is woefully inadequate for the provision of rehabilitative, livelihood, economic empowerment support, and preventive activities. Ghana is often seen as a leader in West Africa and needs to step up the funding available to step up the fight against trafficking in persons. Ghana, with a population of approximately 30 million, currently has 1 million cedis budget in tackling the menace. In comparison, our neighbors like La Côte d'Ivoire, with a population of 24 million, and Togo, with a population of 7 million, spend $3,870,000 and $300,000 respectively on the fight against human trafficking. The Volta Lake would need a minimum of 10 service marine boats to patrol the lake and put an end to the exploitation of children on the lake. 6. There is a need for greater coordination between the Ghana Police Service, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Ghana Immigration Service, Ministry of Justice and Attorney General's Department, and Economic and Organized Crime Office. 7. There is a need for physiosocial support for rescued persons and continuous support to monitor and to repatriate victims in the case of cross-border trafficking. 8. There is a need for the media to support the fight against human trafficking by sensitizing the general public on it, making available media platforms for victims to share their stories would go a long way to change the perception that human trafficking is abstract and would deter others from experiencing same. Mr. Speaker, it is worth mentioning that, as I speak, we have some members of the International Justice Mission as well as survivors of cross-border trafficking from the Gulf states and a survivor of the child trafficking on Lake Volta in the public gallery. I believe strongly that if we take measures to address some of these gaps, we will make double our impact in the fight against human trafficking. Mr. Speaker, as members of Parliament, we also have a critical role to play in supporting sensitization and law enforcement efforts by the respective government agencies and civil society organizations. May we see freedom for our people, and may Ghana be blessed. I thank you for the opportunity once again.